Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis and welcome back to another video. So today we're here in Fusion 360. As promised, I'm going to give you guys an in-depth look at the new Fishofhex CO2 scrubber, why it's the safest CO2 scrubber on the market, period. I really have tried to address all the issues you guys have had with these reactors and implementing CO2 scrubbers to your reef tank. And this is pretty much the best that I could come up with. And I'm not a genius by all means. And I'm self-taught Fusion 360. So this is the best that I could come up with. But outside of that, I want to say thank you for all the support that you guys have given me throughout my 5-year 3D printing journey and with this reactor. I've had a ton of orders so far. And again, I appreciate the support. So with that, we're going to get in here and I'm going to show you how this thing works and give you the ins and outs so somebody else can take the idea, patent it, and steal it from me. I'm just messing. Listen, guys, you guys have asked me, why don't I patent my ideas? And I don't care. I'm here to help the community. And if somebody wants to steal it, go ahead. Do what you got to do. I don't do this because I want to make $1 million. I do this because I want you guys to be successful. So, and if I could pay my bills, I definitely don't mind that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and look at the top of this reactor and let's go through the concerns that you guys have had and how I've tried to fix them. So in this hobby, the very first issue that we're having is excess moisture getting into the media and ruining the media. So there's a fine line between too much moisture and not enough, because you do need a little bit for that media to work efficiently. That's why we put a little bit of water at the bottom of our reactors. It helps the media to burn more evenly, if that makes sense. So what I've done is I've added this first chamber, and I even labeled it because, you know, it's easier that way. So we're going to take our CO2 ring, which you can buy from my website. We have like 150 different skimmers at this point. If you do not have yours, just reach out to me. I will make it, okay? There hasn't been a skimmer I haven't been able to make one for. Anyways, so you're going to take your CO2 ring from the top of your skimmer, and you're going to put it to this inlet. It says CO2 lid in. Now, if we take a closer look at the inside of this, this chamber is where we're going to collect the initial moisture from it. So before I get into it, I do want to address the question, why didn't I just put the float valve in the first chamber and to shut off if it got full? Well, the way I designed this is I need it to collect moisture, and there just wasn't enough room between where I could put the threads and the collection container bumping into it. So that's why I added the second chamber, because, you know, why not? Why not have a little bit of extra? But anyways, if you look at the inside of this, I have it ramped a little bit. So the moisture is going to collect in here, and then it's going to drip back down. It drips back down into the collection container, plus whatever's in the tube prior will drip directly into collection container, and you don't have to worry about it dripping into your CO2 media because gravity, right? Gravity is going to help us bring it back down into the collection container. It's very important. And with that, you're going to have, you'll be able to collect that excess moisture, but you'll also be able to have an area to have a little bit of excess moisture to then kind of feed the media, because it will burn down from the top to the bottom of the reactor. So a little bit of moisture in here is good, but too much is bad for the media. So it's a nice balance between the two, and it helps burn the media efficiently. Now, if we look at the main chamber here, this reactor is screwed in. So you're going to screw it into the top. Okay, there's a bunch of holes there to help with the distribution of air to go down evenly through the media. But it's simple. This is the 6-inch chamber. I offer the 12 and the 15-inch, and basically the 15-inch holds a ton of media. I haven't calculated it yet, but I put it on the 300-gallon reef, and it just holds a ton, like more than half of that bag from BRS. So it's good to go. So the main chamber here screws into the bottom. Now what I've done is, and I wanted to make it so it's easy to change the media, so I added the additional foot here to the bottom of the reactor. So it basically just sits flush to whatever counter or whatever you decide to set it on. You don't have to worry about it tipping over, and you still have room for your barb. Now, one thing that we are missing in here, so the air is going to go through, down through the media, and then back up into this barb here. Now, what we're missing in the picture is the quick disconnect, which will come with the reactor. It's a 3/8 tube with a quick disconnect that you can simply disconnect, unscrew the reactor, dump out the media, fill it back up, put it back into place, and then reconnect it, and you're good to go. So that will the tube will run back up into this chamber. Now this is where the backup system and the failsafe kind of all lay. So our air goes down or through, down, and back up. So let's go ahead and look at that closely. Now in this chamber here, this is where we're going to have our float valve that connects to your apex. And this is kind of one of those things that I've heard the horror stories from you guys, the media getting completely saturated, that stuff dumping into your reef tank. I've done a ton of stuff with CO2 scrubbers over the last few years. I mean, a ton, and I've heard it all. So this was my attempt of kind of like coming up with a way to save your reef tank. So If all else fails, you know, your kid dumps something in your reef tank, maybe your hands are dirty, you dump a chemical or something gets in there, your skimmer goes absolutely bananas and you're not home, right? The water's going to come in, fill up the secondary chamber, then going to fill up the media chamber, and then it's got to go back up. Once it gets into here, it's going to go into, it has to fight gravity. So it's going to go into the secondary chamber. At this point, it's going to fill up, trigger the float valve, and that will turn off your apex, or your apex will then turn off your skimmer, sorry. And then you can even set it to send you an alarm. If you guys want me to do a video on the programming for that, I will be more than happy to do so. But you'll be able to turn off your skimmer and send you an alarm and save your reef tank, because if the pumps aren't running, you're not pulling any of that water or any of that saturated nasty water into your reef tank, and you don't have to worry about killing your coral. So this was my attempt to fixing that devastating problem that we've had in the hobby. Now, it's not very common, because it's not very often that we are, you know, getting those kind of chemicals in our tank and our skimmer going completely crazy. Now, with that, there is some extra things you can do to make this even safer. Is you can elevate the reactor above your skimmer. Again, gravity is our best friend when it comes to CO2 scrubbers. It just is. You know, if the water has to fight gravity and it's just air pulling it through, there's a good chance that you're going to win. Now, having this down 2 feet below your skimmer is probably not the best idea, but even if that's your only option, having this fail-safe is still going to save your reef tank. So with that, yeah, I mean, overall the design, I would say, is a solid 8 out of 10. It took me, I don't know, like 3 weeks to come up with this and to do all the test printing and making sure the threads lined up and were airtight. And I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and working out the kinks and just kind of testing it on the reef tank. But overall, I'm very happy with this. I run it on my own reef tank. I will do some comparisons before and after compared to the other 2 little fishies reactor I had on there. Right now, I'm getting higher pH. I am using more media in this reactor. And I can go away on vacation, or vacation. I don't think I've ever been on vacation. I can go away on a business trip, and or whatever, and then not have to worry about my reef tank crashing. So, yeah, that's the ins and outs. And hopefully you guys, I hope you guys like it. I mean, it's not the prettiest, but it works, right? So that's what's important, is we want to make sure it works. Now, I will modify this design as we go on. I mean, more people will use it. If other things come out technology-wise, if there's something I can do to make it safer, I will do so. But for now, this is the best option I've used, and it works fantastic on the 300. And then once I do all my testing, I will put a 12-inch chamber on it, and I will put it back in its original spot into the underneath the tank. Right now, it's just kind of sitting on a 2x4 in front of the reef tank so you guys can see it. But once I'm done all my testing and all my videos for it, I'll put it back where it belongs. But for now, I'm very happy with it. So hopefully you guys enjoy it, and it is on the website. It's, again, we offer the 6-inch version, the 12-inch, and the 15-inch. You will get both collection containers. You'll get the quick disconnect will already be set up, and you'll get the flow valve with the wires ready to go for your apex. So, and yeah, so that's about it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Any questions or suggestions or anything like that, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to help. And yeah, peace.